Alright guys, we're back. Babs is back, and we're going to do some more breakdown action. This here is going to be Royal St. George back 9. I think it's going to be moderate winds. Yeah, we got moderate winds, so we're just going to do a breakdown of this round, kind of show you what's happening, what's going on, what am I thinking about, what am I doing, all that good stuff, and see if we can get some good information. So, in calculating this and looking at this, hopefully I zoom out. If I don't zoom out, then we're kind of in trouble. This basically is kind of a choke down shot, but to keep in mind, this green slopes front to back, so you have to put spin on this shot, and that's the dangerous part about all of this. So you'll see I put half spin and I go into punch mode, and then whenever I go into the zoom out section, I'll show you right here. So this green itself slopes like this. Obviously this is where I am and this is the back. This green here has a ridge right here, and then that ridge goes downhill in this manner. But then it goes back towards the back of the green like this. So if you were to just hit this shot flat from the player here, the ball would come up over, land like so, and then skip 10, 12, 14 feet away. Because that's the shape of the green, plus we have a tailwind. So you can't do that. You have to put spin on the ball. And what I just calculated was basically 96% flat sand wedge. But you'll see here, I didn't hit that. I added spin to the ball and I hit it 2% more power. And you'll see what happens when this ball lands. Now I land 81 yards and it still released 6 yards. But that's fine. I'm below the hole. And you can see all these dots moving up and away. And that's how the green is sloped. So be careful with this green, especially in tailwinds. You need to put spin on your wedges so that the ball holds. Alright, here we got some tailwind action. We're looking at a 3-wood just to be safe. I could hit a 3-iron, but I'm not going to be stupid with the 3-iron. Simply because I don't want to put myself in a dangerous position. So, you know, with this wind, I want to be safe. What is the smartest miss? Obviously, the smartest miss would be is to land past the ridge. And what I mean by ridge is, you know, obviously people who play this course a lot, there's a ridge here. And all of a sudden, this funnels all the way down, like so. So if you were to hit even slightly above this blue line, the ball could very well roll down the ridge and off the green. You'd be pitching from the fringe, basically. So when I say, what's the smartest miss? The smartest miss means choosing a shot that will actually get you above. Let's put this back real quick. Choosing a shot that will actually get you above the blue line, so that you can have some sensible chance of making a putt from anywhere in this area and not having to putt down here or pitch. That's what I mean by smartest miss. So in this case, what I'm looking at is a 3-wood, roughly 94%. And I want to aim enough to where my misting will coincide with that 3-wood. You see I hit 96% to be safe. And it went long. So I calculated 94, but I added a little power just so that, you know, Vim or whatever else silly type of gameplay might kick in prevents me from landing too short and going down the hill. And also, you never know how much effect the misting will have on your distance. So that's a tip, not just for this hole, but really for any hole. If you have situations where you have a particularly unfavorable situation, choose the smartest miss. It might be going long, it might be coming up short, it might be under aiming. You just have to play around with that to keep yourself in an ideal situation. And in that situation, I'd rather putt, than pitch from the fringe. I mean, nothing special about this shot. It's just a pretty straightforward shot. I think we're looking at, a punch shot, 93, 94%. So if you haven't charted your punch shots, they're a great weapon. Little misting, got the release, almost went in. But that's what I'm saying. I'm playing a punch shot for the release so that the ball lands 71 yards and releases towards the hole and increases my odds of holing out. And when it comes to the punch shot, I normally hit the 64 wedge with full backspin, and then the 75 wedge and the 100 wedge I hit flat. So be careful with the 75 and 100 wedge when it comes to punch shots. They do tend to spin more than you normally expect them to. Alright, so here we got 153, usually up 3. I'm looking at a 17-mile-an-hour wind. And our game plan is to land the ball in a way that will get us a good spin. And so I'll show you what I mean by that after I let go of the aimer. So with this particular hole, you have to understand that there is a hill here. And the hill kind of runs all right here. This whole blue area right here is a hill. And so this hill runs right to left in this manner, but if you go too far to the right of the hill, it actually falls away this way. So that's where you got to keep in mind, this wind right here can be a good wind to your advantage landing on the hill, which is somewhere in this ballpark right there. But if you over aim too much and land to the right side, you could very well end up going this way. So that's something to play with when it comes to your aiming and how you need to aim, and maybe your aim might not suit your style of play. So what we're looking at is we're trying to aim and land on top of the hill, not land at the hole. And why do I say that? Because it's 9.8 greens. We don't want to land the ball at the hole and then have it roll away. We want to land the ball on the hill itself and have it roll towards the hole. That's the difference. That's what makes good players great. It's not just about attacking the hole itself and making sure that I'm always aiming to try and land at the hole. You have to use the slope of the green to make the shot work for you. And so that's what we're going to do here. So I got a decent aim, got my number, and we're going to missting in a way that lands above the hill and rolls back towards the hole, using that hill to your advantage. And so as you can see just right there in that previous shot right there, that's the hill right here. This whole hill slopes this way towards the green and then slopes away. So we're able to land it right here on the hill and let it roll 2 yards back towards the hole, and turned out to be a good shot. Obviously, not a whole lot to deal with this wind because it's a headwind. We're unable to reach, all that good stuff. So we're just going to smack it forward a couple times. Make sure we don't do anything stupid by ending up on the green. So that's why I'm just going to hit it flat rather than putting any elevation on it. And then from here, it's a simple little punch shot. Nothing crazy. Just making sure that I clear this hill as well. So I got my number. Not going to change my aim. Just let the misting do its job. Slight misting. Got the bounce. 33 yards. Right on the money. Ball hits and sticks. As I said, 64 wedge is almost always full backspin. Oh, good old number 15. We got a headwind. So number 15 kind of resembles number 10 in a way that the ball runs from front to back. And so you have to take that into account whenever you're doing your shots, your calculations. And I'll wait for this to come out, zoom in, boom, like that. So this, in the same manner, when I zoom, and it's hard to tell like this, but this right here is a hill. All this is a hill right here. And then the green itself runs this way, like this. So if you don't clear this hill right there, you could very well get stuck in this area and even roll this way if you don't clear it. Vice versa. We'll erase all that, put it back real quick. There's our hill. Oh Lord, got a little excited. If you get too crazy and land at the flag itself, you could very well roll past it. So it's a matter of choosing your landing spots that coincide with the shape of the green and what your wind you're dealing with here. You see we got a little bit of release, and you can kind of see the hill right here in this particular position. But the thing is that I chose that 3-iron because I didn't want to hit a 3 wood and risk having it take off on me. So I chose to underpower it, and again, safe miss. That's the safe miss conversation that I was referring to right here. And that you have to understand where you don't want to be and where you do want to be. So if I were to hit this as a 3 wood, that would have been a 93% 3 wood, 94% 3 wood, which is an underpowered 3 wood. And whether that would have actually held the green, who knows? It might not have, because it was underpowered. It would have released a lot. So in turn, I chose this off spin 3-iron and hopefully try and get it to follow a lower apex. And as you'll see here, my apex is only 100 feet, whereas the 3 wood might have been 120, 130 feet, and ricocheted and ended up way down here. So safe miss. I got an 11-foot putt, fairly easy to read. The dots aren't doing a whole lot, as opposed to a 16, 18-foot putt that's in the other direction. Ooh. Another one of those good old type of shots here. Looking at about 181, 82 yards to the hole. Going to hit an off-spin shot and a punch shot. And again, that was an experimental punch shot. So I want to know, what happens if I do hit a punch shot here? Well, it went 4 yards long. So I go back to my calculations. I find out what I could have done differently, and then I try it again next time, rather than hit a full backspin shot that might end up landing and rolling all the way back down here. These are the kind of things that I like to do, is hit these experimental shots, see what happened, look at the spin, look at the distance, look at the wind, find out what happened, and then make a better decision next time it comes around so that I get a better result, as opposed to doing the same full backspin shot and getting crappy results. So even though I didn't get a heartbeat, it's not in a great position, I still learned something. And of course, this is not a terribly difficult putt. But sometimes you got to try these awkward, unorthodox shots to learn things. And then when you actually need it and you know what needs to be done to make it work, then you reap the benefits of it later down the road. But if you never actually try it, then you never know what you need to do to make it work. So here we're looking at just a relatively full 8-iron, nothing too crazy, pretty straightforward. Good distance, minimal release. Not a whole lot to cover with this hole. It's pretty straightforward. So we got a good round going. And now you say, okay, right to left wind. Much better wind than having a left to right wind. Of course, this green is one of the more dumber greens on this course. But what we're doing here is we're going to find, again, the safest miss. So what is the safest miss in this situation? I'll wait for my aimer to get out the way. What is the safest miss in this situation? Obviously, if we went too long, this is all the edge of the green, like here. And then this is all downhill. All downhill till it goes down to the fringe. So we have a right to left wind. We want to utilize all of this green to our advantage. I would rather have a 16-foot putt over here than risk going down this hill and having to pitch from the fringe and totally missing out on making a putt. And so that's what I mean by the safest miss. In this situation here, I'm looking at roughly 3.5 grids of aim, 151 yards to the flag. So you'll see my aimer, I put it on 4 grids of aim. I added half a grid of aim for this shot just to make sure when I do missing this shot that it stays on this side of the flag at all costs. That's the safest miss, on the right side of the flag. And then we're looking at, a 7-iron, roughly 97%. Got the misting and got the shot. And as you can see, that's all the trouble areas. But, and I say this but strongly, but if I were to aim that only 3.5 grids, if I didn't get the favorable misting, I could have very well ended up somewhere in this area. And that's when you're just flirting with trouble. So that's why I say the little things like adding an extra half a grid of aim to make sure that you stay where you need to stay. And in which case, allowed me to have a good shot. Everything worked out. And we got 9 under. So that is Royal St. George, back 9. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if y'all have any questions. And we'll be here whenever you need. Have a great day, and we'll see you soon. Take care.